well today. Well, to be honest, I must have got a good night's sleep for once last night, because I feel quite energetic and ready to get stuck in today. And usually I'm lethargic and really got to push myself. But anyway, it's also, I think the job is starting to get easier from here on in. So today, just a few things I want to do. As last week I ran out of welding wire, so I've got welding wire now. I've just got one hole there to fill up, and there's just a couple of little spots that I've just got to touch up a little bit around where I welded on the heater bubble. So I'll just clean up those. And then in the boot there's a couple of welds that I need to tidy up. They're not really going to be visible, they sit behind that alloy fuel tank. But yeah, I just got to dress them up a little bit, and I need to just sort of up under the back of the boot. I've just got to finish tidying that up, stripping the old paint off. It's sort of a bit of a mongrel spot to get in at. That's sort of where it would have been nice to have just had the whole car sandblasted. But yeah, just got to do that, and I think then that's sort of all the hardest part of it. Like stripping the paint out is just a horrible dirty job, particularly it's a really stinking hot day. Well, going to be a stinking hot day today. You can feel the humidity building already. Yesterday was a stinking hot day. I don't know, I think as you get older, when I was younger I used to just love the heat more, but still I prefer the heat to the cold. I absolutely hate cold weather. So yeah, so you know, I don't know, it might be a bit boring. I might just put the camera in the fast motion and do a few of those things. And the other thing that I might do, I've got to get back to, like I was saying, if I'm going to flip that heater unit around and have the heater hoses coming out that side, I'm going to have to look at pulling the heater unit apart. So that's sort of what I'm looking at doing today. And yeah, it was just yesterday afternoon that I put my most recent video up, the one with the purchase of the fuel tank and just a few bits and pieces. And there's some good comments and some feedback. There's one guy that made a suggestion about my steering wheel. So I've looked up the website for the suggestion that he made, and looks quite interesting. So I've just taken a few photos of the steering wheel, and I'm going to send them to him and get him to have a look and get a quote on that. Yeah, and the other thing too I noticed, because the other day I just sat the mudguard on when I put the bonnet on to check clearance for these, and I realised that there's one rib nut that I haven't put in that spot there, because I've got these guards there going to be bolt on, so they can be bolted on and off. So I might put that rib nut in. And also the other thing that I might do, I actually bought some threaded inserts, the bonnet pins. So I've got these little threaded bits to go in there. Now it looks like I'll have to open the hole up, so I think I'll just use the Christmas tree to open those up. So I think I'll sit them and tack them in, and then I won't have to worry about losing them. I've got so many bits and pieces, little bits and pieces here, there and everywhere. It does become a worry with my memory that either A, I will forget that I've actually ordered them and order them again, or I just plain won't be able to find where I put them. You know what it is, you put things in a safe place, and then you've got no idea where you put them. So anyway, I think I'll weld those in today as well. So that's the things there that I've got to put in there. The other week I pulled something apart and these things came out of it, and they're actually the right thread. So I don't know, I'll have to look through my box a bit, see if I've got the originals that came with the car or not. Okay, so might put it in fast motion and start doing something. recording now. Okay, so I've got the heater box out of the car here, and this is what we're going to attempt to turn this around and have the pipes coming out of this side. So I've got to see how difficult it is going to be to pull this apart. The other thing that I've got to look at is whether this electric motor works. I thought that I'd tried it when I first got this thing a couple of years ago, but anyway, we'll have a look at it. I'm guessing it's designed to pull apart. It does look like it's got a few plastic pieces broken off. Okay, so I've got the heater box out of the car, and so what we're doing here, I want to see if I can turn this around to have these pipes coming out this side. And I've just pulled, there was some tape wrapped around there holding that all together. And so now, the other thing I've got to do is see if this electric motor in this thing is still working. So I pulled that tape off, and I think it's actually going to pull apart without too much difficulty. I never ever seem to have the tools that I need available. Okay. So there's some little tabs here that look like they hold it. So I've just got to do this without breaking anything. It looks like some of the tabs have already been broken off. And also I want to make sure we don't put the screwdriver through and poke a hole through the heater unit. Oh yeah, that's going to come off quite easily. Actually, maybe a tile either. Oh look out, there we go. Ooh. And just have a look at the state of it, whether it... Okay, so there's a clip that goes on there. Okay, well that's not too hard, so now we're just going to turn that around and have that coming out that end. So I can see now why that has a big hole, so that you can put that up into there and slide it in. So I'll probably have to do the same over here. Well, that doesn't really look too bad. Might put some water through it. As I say, put a bit of, I might turn the pressure reducer, I might just do a bit of research about, but I think probably about 15 pound, put about 15 pound pressure into that and just see that it's not leaking. Okay. This thing here looks like it needs a good clean up. Now I'm just not sure. Okay, anyway, let's investigate this. I'll come back in a few minutes. Okay, so basically I've just put a mark out on this other side, and what I'm going to do is just cut a couple of, use the hole saw to cut a couple of holes, then I might just get the jigsaw to take it out. Well, that was easy enough. Okay, so now just tidy that up a bit. Now the other thing, while I was off camera there, I took this down to pop the bonnet on my car, and I hooked the jumper leads on, and I gave it a good blowout. I've got these horrible wasps that get around this place, and they build their mud nests and everything, so I blew this out with the air blower, and a couple of those mud nests come out of it. So anyway, I went down there and I hooked the jumper leads to the battery and put them on, and it's spinning like a beauty. So that's working. I've got an old battery on the charge down here, but I don't know. It might be so stuffed that it might not take a charge, because I was just going to hook it up to show you, but you'll just have to trust me that it works. And so yeah, I'll just tidy that up a bit now, a bit more. They're probably not, yeah, they're not quite going to fit in there. Actually, they appear to be a little bit bent, so I might just have to straighten them a little, if I can do that without breaking anything. Okay, so I'll just keep going and we'll come back in a minute. Yeah, I just thought I'd just quickly address the reason why I flipped the heater unit around so that it comes out the passenger side rather than the driver's side. So here you see the back of the engine, and this is where it sits up against the firewall. Now basically you've got the, because this was originally a front wheel drive engine, but it's now being put into a rear wheel drive car, so we've got this water comes out of the back of the engine through all this apparatus here and goes up to the front, to the top hose of the radiator. And so where you've got these, the heater unit would have come out, and it's right here where it's very congested, because also the extractors will be bolting on there. And so over on this side, there just should be a whole lot more room for the pipes to be able to run to the to those heater, to where the heater comes through that firewall. Okay, well, I managed to get that heater core out of there, and I separated the thing, which really, once I sort of got a hold of what I was doing, it only took 5 or 10 minutes to get it apart. I don't know why, but someone had made a comment in one of my earlier videos where I sort of talked about moving the heater around, and they sort of gave me the impression that it was going to be near impossible to pull the thing apart, which I thought was odd, because surely it's got to be a serviceable unit. So I've got that apart, and I made a little template here to fill in the hole on the driver's side, and I've cut a piece of steel out, so we'll just go and have a bit of a look at that. So that's the bit of steel that I've made, and to go up in there. Yeah, wouldn't you know it, it sat in there before when I did it. So anyway, you can see that's designed to just fit quite neatly in there, and I'll just spot that, I'll weld that in. There we go. Okay, so I'll weld that in, and we'll just go around the other side. So I've put a mark where we need to drill. So I've got a hole saw. I'm just going to put a hole at the bottom, hole in the top, and then I'll just run the grinder down either side to open that up. So I'll get into that now. I've got the GoPro just sort of balancing there on the little stand on the floor. I'm a bit worried as soon as I tap this centre punch it'll fall over. Oh no, it didn't. Lucky. So now I'll drill a couple of little holes. Now this particular hole saw, the one that's the right size, it looks very blunt, so we'll see what happens here. Yeah, it certainly is. What'll I do? See if I can find another one, I think. Well, I think I'll try using the Christmas tree, but the one thing that I just did notice when I went around the other side, this is actually looking rather low in comparison with the hole that's been in the other side. So I'm thinking I might lift that hole, put another hole further up. Okay, we'll go around the other side. I'll get the camera repositioned. Okay, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. It's a bit of a tight squeeze getting in here and getting the camera set up. And I'm probably going to end up with hot shavings going all over my legs here. I can bear the hot shavings on the legs, but I don't want them in my eyes, so I'll just put the... Okay, I'll go in from the other side to open it, because it's a double skin there, because I've actually put a reinforcing bulkhead strengthener in there. So now, and I got in under here and I didn't bring my welding gloves. Anyway, it should be alright. I know I often see so many times people on YouTube welding without welding gloves, and they'll end up probably with all spots that they need to have removed off their forearms in years to come. It's only when you get... oh, anyway. Okay, so I've just cleaned up the paint off that a bit, so hopefully it'll weld a bit. Now I've got to find what I did with a bit of steel. That light, as it looks like, it's gone very orange, yellow. They're both gone yellow. I wonder if it's... Okay, well, I just ducked out there and I grabbed a few things that I need, the angle grinder to cut through this. While I was out there, I went around the other side and put the Christmas tree in from the other side. And I got a hammer so that I can just tap this over a bit, so I'll just keep going with that. Always works better when you plug it in. So see if I can do this without copping this in the face. I need to just widen that out a little bit there. Okay, I'll just tidy that up a bit, but I think that's all right. So Okay, so there it is, the hole for the heater on the driver's side is fully enclosed now. The new hole over on the passenger side. Now you notice I did end up taking that down lower because I basically needed to have it like that because there was just no way I was going to be able to maneuver the heater unit into position with that larger gearbox tunnel without having it like that. So I'll just have to make up some sort of a covering plate that goes around that and screws to the firewall. And so there we go with the heater unit in place there. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, you know, well, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and you know, any comments, any feedback are always appreciated, and I'll try and get another video up soon. I've actually got one pretty much ready to go with some new bits and pieces. I bought a few more bits for the puzzle to add, and I've got some other stuff that I'm planning to order today actually, but whether it'll be here and in time for me uploading the next video, we'll see.